Hello and welcome to another episode of Treasury Talks, where we speak with thought leaders from across the nation. Today, I am so honored to have with me Heather Lavallee, the Chief Executive Officer of Wealth Solutions for Voya Financial. It is such a pleasure to have you. I just want to say that, you've got a long history over the last 25 years of experience in the financial services. And some of the things I'd like to highlight are just the fact that, you come from experience with Omaha Mutual, where you were the regional vice president of the group insurance division. And you also have received an award back in 2012 for the Women in Insurance Leadership, which I think is really phenomenal. And again, those awards are given by other colleagues in the industry, leaders in the industry. One thing that last thing I want to highlight as far as your background is the fact that you serve on the board of the National Down Syndrome Society. And so you're an individual who, in my mind, based on your actions, you're committed to preparing folks for retirement and giving them a secure path forward. I just would love it if you could describe a little bit about your background and sort of the path that you took, and maybe some of your passions that led you to where you are today.
Thanks, Colleen, and I appreciate the kind words and the gracious introduction. For me, I have spent my entire career in the financial services industry, really right out of college. And, I got into it, really, yes, looking for that first job. But I became passionate about it because I saw the difference that financial solutions can have in the lives of families. And, very personally, my father-in-law had been hit by a car 20 years ago, overseas, did not have adequate insurance. And I just saw as a young married couple, really how it had such a tragic and hard impact on their family in terms of losing their home, medical costs, and losing their retirement. And so, to me, while I love my job, I am even more passionate by what we do and the ability to benefit families. And you commented on my role as serving on the board of National Down Syndrome Society. That has been just an eye-opener to see the amazing capabilities of the self-advocates that are employed by and work alongside leaders at NDSS. And you just are able to see, what people can do and the huge contribution that they can make in our society. And, I'll say, on a personal note, married, I have two college-age boys who I'll say for any accomplishments I had in life, they keep me humble, and always do.
So I'm a little step behind you. I have one high school aged boy and sort of middle school aged boy, and then a little peanut daughter at the tail end. So, but I understand that humility comes along with having children. Could you talk a little bit about some of the strategic partnership that Voya has with Delaware? We've really enjoyed this relationship, and I'd love for you to just sort of discuss some of the work behind those various deferred compensation programs, those successes, sort of the evolution of our partnership, and maybe how there are also some opportunities that remain.
It really has been a partnership, I would say, partially around creativity. I think your team has really pushed us to think about how can we reach more employees of the state of Delaware? How can we get more people enrolled in the program and savings, and always pushing us around what's the best way we can engage, and also leveraging our on-site education advisors who are supporting employers across the state of Delaware. And one area that really kind of rang true for us was during the pandemic. I'm going to point as a real positive to the on-site education team who has been working for a number of years to develop these deep relationships. And in the middle of the pandemic, when they weren't able to see people face to face and in person, they all pivoted to being able to support folks via Zoom, via phone. And the part that we're proud of is really the trust that was established between these advisors and the participants of Delaware who really stayed the course. So we saw people not making shifts in investment allocation during a very tumultuous market year. We also saw not as many people taking hardships or needing to access their funds, which is really a testament to the team and really, frankly, all of the education that Delaware provided. So those are some things, the fact that they stayed the course, did not take hardships, and really aligned with some of the statistics that we saw nationally as well. And so, commend Delaware to have that kind of education program. What are we looking at on the horizon with our partnership? We really have kind of three things that we're looking at. Is number one, last year was just this push towards digital, for all of us, as much as how we're communicating today. And we think there's a tremendous opportunity for the participants of Delaware to take advantage of our new text to action capabilities and our mobile that allows them to make positive steps towards their future savings. Second is partnering with the state of Delaware around potential plan design changes. Are there things that we can put in place together to make it easy and simple for more employees to take advantage of the state program? And finally, is thinking broadly across Delaware is accessibility, right? What else can we do in partnership to make sure all Delawareans have access to a savings plan to help them build a secure financial future?
I think there's definitely areas for growth. And one of the things, I love that you sort of summarized it, but it has been extremely impressive to have those one-on-one touch points and to see that shift to utilizing more technology to meet people where they are in a safe way. One of the things that I think about is how are we preparing for that retirement readiness and that retirement security when we compare ourselves to the national trends. And so I just wonder if there are some national trends that we should be looking toward to support some additional savings, or maybe also sort of considering how COVID has impacted some of the savings behaviors. As you mentioned, we actually saw an uptick in investing and folks putting money away rather than pulling money out. How is Voya helping Delaware state employees to prepare for their future and sort of considering some of those national figures?
Maybe I'll start first with the impact of COVID, because we've all been talking about retirement readiness and how do we partner. This has been, certainly a critical topic over the last, several years. But we have to think about the impact of COVID. And I'll start with only 40% of participants, and this is nationwide, not just within Delaware, expect to retire at the same time they did pre-COVID. So we're seeing people who are making decisions to delay their retirement just because of the impact. So we need to understand that trend. Secondly, we are also seeing how much caregivers were impacted by the pandemic and really put in tough situations of having to determine how are they providing care? Are they stepping away from the workforce? When they step away, that impacts their ability to save. And one of the other, I think I would call it actually a silver lining around COVID is that it shined a light on the importance of families to think very holistically about their health well-being as well as their financial well-being. And as you just mentioned, we also saw towards the end of the year nationally that people started increasing their contribution rates. So I think there's this kind of awakening around, geez, I haven't been able to spend as much on consumer goods, and it's important to think about savings. So that drives some positive behavior. So when I think about what can we do at Voya to help Delaware employees on their path to retirement readiness, and even nationally, I'll kind of go back to three three key things. The first is making it simple. And I'll say this in the context of plan design changes, right? When you think about the ability to do kind of an auto enroll, auto escalate, these are kinds of plan design changes that allow somebody to kind of have the decisions made for them to make it easy, right? I think about it's like automated payroll deposit into your bank account. You don't have to think about it, and that's one way that really drives positive outcomes. I will tell you through our Voya Behavioral Finance Institute research, we have done a lot of analysis around this, that you can actually push up contribution rates and see people making positive changes before they make decisions to even cut back on their savings, which was something that actually surprised us. The second key theme is meeting participants when, where, and how they wish to be served. And I will tell you, this is something that I think Delaware does very well. And what I mean by that is we all want support in different ways. There are those who really want digital. I want to access things, I want to do it myself. You've got kind of a simple plan design that allows participants to make some of those easier investment decisions, and how we can reach and engage. So we're continuing to look at ways we educate, nudge, drive right behaviors through digital, leveraging mobile and enhancing our mobile capabilities. The second aspect of making it easy is also in-person and access to financial advisors. And again, this is something that you are doing as a best practice, because what we have found is for those plan sponsors who have, or participants who are both digitally engaged and or have access to an advisor, they have higher savings rates and better outcomes. And the final trend that I would mention is really focusing on the breadth of financial health needs. So it's not just about the retirement savings rates, but you think about the importance of emergency savings as an example. Understanding if a family has student loans, understanding if they have medical expenses or other things to pay for. So this kind of holistic view on, we're calling the convergence of health, wealth, and understanding those needs. That is kind of what I'll call the third crux around what we can do for retirement readiness.
I love the depth in which you're thinking about this, right? And so if my takeaways are anything, there are ways in which we can really get people saving without having to think too much about the process, and that's really phenomenal. And I think it's always great to start thinking about ways in which we can meet people where they are and sort of get them into this space of securely preparing for retirement. One of the things that you mentioned is also just support. You mentioned support, and it makes me think of folks that are in the special needs community, and how do we support folks that are in the special needs community? And I think about some of the work that you're doing on a personal level, but also about how crucial Voya Cares is as a resource for folks that are dealing with special needs. Can you speak a little bit about some of that?
I'd be happy to, and certainly a topic near and dear to my heart. So, with our Voya Cares effort, the intention was really started to be able to help address the unmet financial planning considerations of the special needs community. So, what we always say is families who have an individual with a special need in their family, doesn't mean they don't have all of the other same planning considerations. They may have other kids where they're saving for college. They may be dealing with different issues, emergency saving, things like that. But for families with an individual with a special need, they need to be thinking about how they're navigating education and working closely with their local school districts. They're thinking about after-school therapy and care. They may not be thinking about the long-term plan. So we look at is a number of different things. I think about within the state of Delaware, and you have your Able 529 plan, is taking advantage of those types of programs to be able to provide savings opportunities for individuals with disabilities that are above that don't jeopardize their government benefits. And Able 529 is a fantastic resource. Understanding the importance of additional government benefits that are out there. So Many families don't understand when their child reaches age 18, they could access supplemental security income based on the child's own earning ability, which is just a tremendous resource to tap into. And also the importance of the special needs trust, and as a great vehicle to be able to protect some of those assets. So what we just really typically say at Voya is it's not about just focusing in on the special needs community. It's just understanding the unique and personalized needs of each family and how we can bring the right resources to them to really help plan for that future. And the other component we're looking at Voya Cares is how can we also drive greater employment opportunities for individuals within the special needs community who have wonderful and amazing abilities and tremendous work ethics.
I love it. I think as a practice, it's you guys are a shining example of what can be done and what we should work to achieve. You know, I want to shift just a little bit. It's one of those things that's really near and dear to me. But when I think about employment and the economy, there's a significant underserved and underbanked community of folks. And the one thing that I wonder is, how is this impacting employment in America? And what are some of the things that you all are seeing just from the perspective of Voya? And what do you think are some of the ways in which we can support folks?
Yeah, well, you hit it first, Colleen, talking about employment, and we're really leaning in broadly to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And what we're really trying to strive for in this country is competitive employment for all, regardless of your background, your socioeconomic, your gender, your ethnicity. And there's a real need. And when you think about it, if you start with COVID and its impact on employment, we look at it and we see that Blacks and Latinos were significantly hurt harder by COVID from not only the disease, but from employment. So there was, we see, for example, that, the job and wage loss is very alarming. So 61% for Hispanics, 44% for Blacks, compared to about 38% for whites. So a lot of folks were hit hard. But there is, a significant issue. And then when you also think about where the wealth accumulation has been in this country, particularly within the Black community, wealth accumulation is about 1/6 that of white communities. So when again, you think about an event that happens where an individual might lose their job, be out of work, or get sick, there isn't the same safety net to tap into. And so those are things that we're really trying to both shine a light on. We're challenging ourselves and saying, as a leader in the financial services space, how do we really understand these issues and help address some of these greater societal trends and get to the point of competitive employment? And so we are doing a lot of work and research on this front. But then, once we get people employed, we also have to make sure we're helping them to make decisions, and the right decisions, to be able to address savings and to be able to build that nest egg that sets them up for a better financial future.
Well, it sounds as though Voya is really considering the whole person, right? And really kind of from every perspective you could imagine anyway right now. And I think one of the things that's been pretty remarkable is just how the pandemic helped us to change some of the things that we do, and helped us to sort of sort of evaluate whether or not the way we interact with folks is productive or not. And so I love that you're taking a lot of those lessons learned from the pandemic, shifting a bit, but also really ensuring that you're making a huge impact on people and a whole variety of different people. It makes me, one, appreciate our partnership and the work that you're doing. But it makes me also kind of think about, well, truly, what's next for Voya? What's on the horizon? What are you guys hoping to achieve? And just wondering if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to, Colleen. And really a couple themes. So we're going to continue to expand our solutions to make sure they're addressing the broad kind of that health wealth convergence that I talked about. We're very much focused in on the emergency savings and our partnership with Millennium Trust, which is outside of the retirement plan, but working to create an easier vehicle for employees to establish that emergency saving is definitely an area of importance. We're also continuing to really lean in on our customer experience and looking at enhancements, digital, mobile, education, our Voya Learn programs around how we can lean in on kind of, on time learning of you think about people wanting it when they want it. And then, the last piece we talk about is we're very focused in on diversity, equity, and inclusion, not just within our company, but also outside, and really using our voice to help drive that societal change, lift employment opportunities for all. And we feel like it's a responsibility that we have as a company in our country today. So that's it. A lot on the table, but we're very excited and up for the challenge, and we so appreciate our partnership with you in the state of Delaware.
Well, as do I. I've mentioned a couple of times, so I'm gonna really put a fine point on it and just say I really do appreciate all that that Voya is doing, and really your leadership. It's really phenomenal to see the work that you're doing, to experience it, and to be the beneficiary of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.